Oh,
Yeah, that's right, Jim.
What is the Methodist Church? That's your local church?
That's East Jordan United Methodist Church. Yes, that's my local church.
Okay. Yeah, I've been in East Jordan many times. Done the parade there.
my college roommate was from East Jordan. Trumbull was is their last name.
Don't recognize it, Paul.
Oh, okay.
But I wasn't born and raised here. This is where I retired to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he worked at East Jordan Fire Steel Works or something like that.
Foundry.
Iron Company or something.
East Jordan Iron Works, now known as EJ Company.
Yes, that's right.
Still make manhole covers?
Yes, they do.
World famous for that.
But they are.
I actually sang in a quartet for several years with the president and CEO of the Iron Works.
Well, nice. Let me pull up. Go. I'll give everybody the last 30 seconds.
All right, Paul Ellinger, is that a real background, virtual background?
I don't know how to do a virtual, so I'm guessing that's real.
All right. I didn't know if you're on the road or what you were doing.
No.
I only know what Jenny tells me because I don't go on Facebook but once a week.
No, we plan on being back on the road on Friday. All right. I think that people have said that it's helpful when I record, so this is being recorded. And we will get started. It is 7 o'clock. And as you know, I like to start to honor those that were on time. So as you know, we don't take anything in any particular order, but first on my agenda is just an FYI that don't forget tonight, an hour from right now, is the House of Delegates meeting. So you want to be aware of that. Topic 2, have you seen the all new pioneerdistrict.org website? It is pretty cool. It is a super improvement. I want to thank the crack team of people that helped design that, put it together, and special thanks to Chris Bateson for all of his extra efforts in creating that and maintaining it. So if you haven't checked it out, send it to your chapters, etc. Don't forget that item 3, Virtual International brings the world to your back porch. Whether you spend every minute running around our virtual campus, because it is virtual this year again, with your friends, which I did do that, got to be really good friends with several teenagers from around the world, and also from right here in Pioneer, Charlie Gross and some of his friends. It was super fun. So as much fun as all that is, and connect to people all around the planet, you'll love the price too, because it's accessible even if you want to catch a few shows or save or the special appearance by the Westminster Chorus for just $49 for everything, and save with your BHS membership and pay only $39. I will have a link that you can send out. Item 4, I will also have a list of quartets that will be performing. Item 5, I will also have a link for all of the choruses that will be performing. Item 6, we are at a breakneck speed right now. Item 6, there is the ability to ask Westminster pretty much any question you would like to know. And there is a form, which I will have a link to in my notes, and send those to you. They would just ask that you send your question in beforehand. And there is I will have the link, as I said, in order to do that. Don't forget, item 7, enter your video on the virtual Quartet Festival, also part of Midwinter. I've gotten to see some of those videos, and there's some really fun ones, really good ones, and people just having fun singing together again. Item 8, before I move topics, any questions so far? Awesome. Item 8. Don't forget that you can warm up your chorus with free Harmony University videos. I know we talked about it at our last meeting, how people are using the, oh, help me out with the name, somebody, Live at Home, I think. I'm getting the nod, yes, the Live at Home videos that you can have people of super abilities to come in and warm up your chorus, and it's really fun. So there's lots of things available to you. All right, item 9. There is something called, on Thursdays, there's something, I have not seen this yet, so I'll put this out to the group to see if anyone has attended this. But if it's Thursday, it's time for Barbershop 7th Hour on Acaville. I guess that stands for Acapellaville radio. Has anyone attended any of those? Pete Stevens Brown, could you give us a 20-second insight?
It's different each week, isn't it? It's a barbershop show of stellar performances.
Excellent. I will make sure everybody has a link in my handy dandy notes. Thank you, Pete. All right, so that was item 9. Item 10. Recently, society board member nominations went out, and the next steps in the process are people are being vetted. I wrote down something as item 11 called Barbershop, and I don't know what that means. So I'm going to click on the link. Maybe that'll be the Easter egg for this week. When you click on the link, you'll find out what it is. It is Barbershop tags. I will make note of that. And there's some really good ones that people are singing 4 parts to, usually themselves. Sometimes it's tags that they've written or tags that they've heard or rewritten, etc. So I will put that in the notes right now, not right now. Barbershop tags. So the handy dandy notes just got handier and dandier.
If that's the barbershoptags.com, that's got, was it 4,800 tags?
Yeah, this is on a Facebook one. This was a new one that I hadn't seen before. So just thought I'd share it. But yeah, Barbershop tags. That one's, yeah, I'm being put on Facebook. How about I do that? All right, item 12. I think that this is a repeat. Getting it for, it looks like chorus champs. I must have hit this twice. It was another version of Westminster Chorus will be in the virtual chorus this summer. So we won't really count that one. Here's back to, so I'll delete number 12 and make this the new number 12. Volunteers for the next international. You can be a tour guide, which was really helpful when people are learning the technology. But once you get the hang of it, it is super fun. But if you would like to be a volunteer, you, my friend, get free tickets for doing so. All right. Details and sign up here. I will have the link for that. All right, number 13.
Question.
Yes.
You're talking about volunteers for the internationals coming up here next week, or are you talking about a year from now?
I believe this is for next week.
Okay.
Yep. So they probably still need help. If not, hey, no skin off anybody's teeth. Pioneer District Hall of Fame nominations are due August 13th. We do have somebody on the call that might know a little bit more than I do. Brandon Smith, I know that you weren't prepped on this, but could you give us a 30-second heads up on the revamping? I know I was on the committee with you and Aaron and Sherry Knight. But if you could give us a 30-second update, that would be excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a new process to nominate people to the Hall of Fame. That is for a few reasons. One, the Hall of Fame is now a mixed thing, which means you can nominate both men and women into the Hall of Fame, which is really awesome. The other thing was the previous process was just incredibly clunky. Therefore, very few people actually filled out nominations. So the process is a simple Google form. It'll be going out in the next episode of the Trube, which is coming up very, very soon. I strongly encourage anybody to submit anyone you think is worthy of the Hall of Fame. If you got all of your stuff ready to go for it, you could nominate somebody in literally as short as about 4 minutes. I went through the form on my own. Granted, I had all the, I'm nominating 2 people for the Hall of Fame. I don't mind saying that now, but I had all of my documents and stuff ready to go, which aren't very hard. And I had the form filled out in 4 minutes each. So just keep that in mind. Our Hall of Fame is awesome, but we went 2 years before last year without nominating anybody. And I don't think it's because we don't have enough great people. I think it's just people are shy about the rough application process. So I encourage you to nominate people.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brandon. There's also going to be some really nice updates to the Hall of Fame. There is a goal to have a really nice reception during fall convention to welcome any new, because it's a big deal to be a member of the Hall of Fame. And we want to make sure that people know that it's a big deal. And so that will be part of the revamping process as well. Yes, Brandon, did I get that right?
You got that absolutely correct. There'll be a opening kind of banquet as well as a bunch of other festivities. We're looking at doing that Friday night. More schedule information will come as we get closer to our next convention.
Nice. Item 14. This is a little dated, but the concept is still important. I did have this ready for before the last society board meeting, but you can now look and you can join and view, I should say, society board meetings. I will make sure that you have a link to past meetings and videos, because it's real easy to say, oh, what do those people do? And now you can find out what the conversation is and what it is that we're working on, or they are working on at the society board level. I assume that future meetings will also, because they're really big on transparency right now, which is awesome. And I will make sure that if a new link comes out to the meeting live on YouTube, I will make sure to send that out to the communication agents. Item 15. I'm going to send you a link available to anyone. It's a great resource, excuse me, talking about the reopening guide, updates to the reopening guide. How do we navigate things in all different parts of the country, and different feelings about how we get back together and what that looks like. So I will make sure that you have the link to the most up-to-date reopening guide. Item 16, extreme quartetting is reopening, and there is a guide for that. I think there's a couple of extreme quartetters online. Yes. Right. So I think that theirs is pretty clear as to how this all works, but rather than delineating what those things are, I will make sure you have a link in the handy dandy notes section. unless, Bill, there's something in specifics that we want to make sure that we,
I'm wondering if it's the XRAF document or something. There is a committee of all the brigades that was specifically tasked with looking into this, and they're about as detailed as the CDC. So it's really worth a good read. The gist of it is saying proceed with caution is what they're saying.
sure.
And the first brigades will be starting, I think in September is the first one in New England.
Okay, great. Thanks, Bill. Item 17, I think, is probably past its its shelf life. But I have a link here to a reopening post-pandemic roundtable. Did anybody attend that? I think, Pete, I think you did. Yes. Okay. 20, 30 seconds on that if you can, Pete.
It was good. They actually went through the same process that is listed on the barbershop.org website, pretty much point by point. And I could eventually find the link for that if you need it.
That'd be
unless
great.
unless you're already providing it. I bet you are.
I had a registration to it, but if you had a link to, I think it's probably the pandemic reopening guide,
It is.
is my guess. So I have a link to that already. So thanks for offering. Absolutely appreciate that. All right. Here's something that I thought was really cool. Item 18, Singing for People can help you grow membership, but your performances need to have certain aspects. Do yourself credit. Sing well, sure. Perform better is really cool. Consider public performances. Considering public performances is your best way of recruiting. Don't owe it to yourself to do it well. Bring singing to the public, any gig, anytime. Ask yourself these questions. Can I or we sing up to our abilities, adequate manpower and voice parts, soloists, etc.? If I heard this group singing for the first time, would my impression be, that looks like fun, I'd like to try that? Then if it's a resounding yes, you might indicate, then you might be in line for reading this article, which I will have a link to in my, you got it, handy dandy notes. So that's a Harmonizer article that I just thought was so good about how to use performances. Because I'm going to tell you, just as a thought, I don't know of any groups that have grown barbershop by going to contest, maybe convention, but not contest. So singing in public, allowing people to see how fun this really is. And then there's some nice tools that are helpful in this article. So you'll have that in the notes. Any questions? Because I'm switching between seeing you all, and it looks like we're good to go. All right, item 19. This is I got this one in a bigger font, must be important. Reinstatements are rising, and to ensure everyone can quickly and easily reinstate or renew, please check out, and I'll have a link, to our recent additions to these tips for managing memberships in Member Center. They've recently updated the instructions for reinstatements by individuals or chapter officers working on their behalf. So again, you will have the link. All right, BHS service requests. The customer care team continues to work hard to clear a high volume of service requests following transition to a new technology platform and some challenging changes to the business process. And this is a message from BHS service group. Your continued patience and courtesy are greatly appreciated. All right, if you'd like to geek out, then then you can watch Audio Sorcerer Brandon Guyton remaster a vintage acoustic performance. I will make sure that you have a link to that. And next, item 22, you can get some awesome coaching for your quartet at Virtual Harmony University I think that might have already passed, but if you reach out to them, I'm sure they could still connect you with a coach that would love to meet with you outside of Harmony University. You'll have the link. Item 23, most popular page on our website. This is from the BHS. Any guesses? It is the free sheet music. That is the #1 most popular page on their website. So I will make sure you have the link, and I'm guessing, and I can only guess, if this is probably driven as much by barber shoppers as it is non-barber shoppers. I know that there are people that I have talked to, maybe even talked to a person today that's a teacher at a local school here in Whitmore Lake, Michigan. And I know that she has been on there looking for music for her choral program. So that's a good thing. I'll make sure you have the link. Starting up a quartet might be a good way to start. All right, barbershop fundamentals. What makes it barbershop? You ever wonder that? Well, if you would like to find out, I will have a link for you. Item 25. Surprise non-barbershoppers with our Barber Pop playlist. I am not completely certain what that was when I wrote it. So this is going to officially be our Easter egg in the notes. So you can find out, is this a flash mob? Is it a, hey, listen to this music? I don't know. So you will get to find out. And after the request that the BHS made for, hey, we're a little behind in reinstatements, they have made the process for reinstatements, this is an update, even easier. They have eliminated the dual fee and enrollment fee for online applications. So there's a link to that as well. So we are at 7:20 and we have now officially covered 26 topics in 20 minutes. Yay, good job. All right, Bill McAndrew.
Just a question on that last one there. When you said eliminated the dual fee, does that mean the multiple chapter kind of thing, if you belong to multiple chapters or what?
Yeah, I have a link. You might want to just peruse that link and find out. I just took it from their website where it said we eliminated the dual fee and enrollment fee. So I'm wondering if that, I think that sounds like it might be what you're saying, the dual fee for dual and the enrollment fee. So you'd only pay one chorus fee, I think. But you might want to just peruse that. Yep, that's the way I read it. All right, anything else? Chris Berry, and then over
I was just wondering, is that the $10 fee that they were paying, that anytime you jumped in, then it was another $10 just to dual enroll, plus whatever the chapter dues were?
I think that's what it is. Yes.
Thank you.
That's the way I read it. Pete Stevens Brown.
I don't know if this has hit the schedule yet, but ASO, Ancient Harmonic Society of Woodshedders, is being called woodshedders.com as opposed to ASO.com, trying to go away with the get away from the ASO name. Anyway, we are making presentations at 6 p.m. Central on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday this week at the convention.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks for doing that, Pete. Tom Ennis.
Just a heads up on reinstatements. I went to reinstate a person this past week, and it didn't allow me to do it because it said I didn't have permissions to do it. Talk to the officers, either the president or the secretary. Well, I am the president and the secretary, so I kind of talked to myself and didn't get anywhere. So I contacted customer service. They fixed it. I don't know if they fixed it just for me or if anybody else is going to have a problem if they go in to reinstate somebody. The other thing was, when I did the reinstatement, we were going to use the Chorus credit card, and it wouldn't accept it because the address The billing address on the card was not the same as the address of the person we were reinstating. So I was told, go ahead and put your own address on the application, not the person who you're reinstating, because since it's a reinstatement, it's not going to affect the database anyway. Their address won't change. So that was their workaround for that. So
Yeah,
if you go to do that, that's how to get it done.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Tom. I cannot promise this, but I do know that I was on a meeting in the last week, maybe a little longer, that they did talk about having difficulties, the exact same difficulties that you're talking about, not living at the same address. You didn't have permissions. So they were at the very least aware. And my guess is that they are either working on that or in your case, having workarounds for that at least. But thanks for the heads up, because now that's recorded for posterity if other people are running into the same problem.
Seems kind of funny that they would have that, since they have the ability for people to pay other people's dues, so you would think that by definition would, be.
I can't guarantee that this is the reason, Bill, but I do know that there is a new platform that they're using. And some things were supposed to be improved and maybe some things didn't transfer over. And I'm guessing that that's my guess as to why that might be what it is. So they're working out some bugs, and I think we all expect bugs. I think they found a few more bugs than they were hoping for when it came through. So they're bringing in an exterminator, and hopefully they'll get it all straightened out. If nothing else, I will be respectful of people's time. I will give you, so one is a question, and I'm going to give you a bonus, item 27. So first off, question. No, actually, I'll give you the bonus first. So this is the bonus round. I'm going to give you a heads up for the House of Delegates meeting. So 10 days or so ago, let me just close this out. It's saying I'm running out of time. 10 days or so ago, I reached out to Joe McDonald and I asked if he would be willing to extend his presidency a year, since he really only got 6 months. He'll end up getting 6 months of being able to meet people. He has had, well, I don't think you've had any conventions in person, Joe, under your presidency. Is that correct? Yeah, and one of the other things, when I signed on to be Joe's EVP, I was really excited about a lot of the things that he had on his agenda. One of the most exciting things to me was planting new singing groups. And guess how much of that he got to do in the last year and a half? 0. So I do remember BHS telling me that the term limits have been removed. They're still in the, as I understand it, still in the pioneer bylaws, that it'll be a 2-year. But I'm going to be making, first off, I asked Joe if he would be willing to extend, and because I'd like to see a lot of these plans come to fruition, and we changed gears and did some offline, I mean, non-in-person is what I meant to say, things like updating the website and other things. But one of the big ticket items, growing singing groups, just couldn't be done. So it went to the board of the Pioneer Board, and well, first I asked Joe, and he got back to me a few days later and said, if it would be helpful and people agree, then yes, I will extend. So I want to thank Joe for being willing to do that. But he did think about it. And it did go to the Pioneer Board. It did pass by a supermajority to recommend to the House of Delegates to extend Joe's presidency by 1 year. And there was a certain way that that was written, and you'll see that in the next meeting. I will say that not everyone voted yes for that. I think the voting for it was simple. Hey, this was some in-person things that were really important, and having the opportunity to actually do that. That's the yes part. The no is, hey, it's 2 years, you're setting a precedent, and you get what you get, and you had your 2 years. So, I mean, I think that's oversimplified probably on both sides, but you should think about that if you plan on attending the House of Delegates meeting. I will say, if you vote no, then this knucklehead becomes your president a little sooner. So you could postpone that horrible mistake if you vote yes. So anyway, that is something that's going to be coming up on the House of Delegates. And I will tell you, and I don't mean to put words in Joe's mouth, but I will say that if Joe said, if we agree that we should extend, Joe would be happy to do that. And if we agree not to, Joe is happy with that as well. So he has a servant's heart. Is there any questions or any comments by Joe himself on that? Okay. Did I explain that well? Does at least it make sense as to why we're even?
It's fine. It hadn't not occurred to me. Paul brought it up. I was more reluctant than he conveyed, but
True.
like I said, hey, whatever is the best for Pioneer, I'm up for. So that's how I measured it.
That's right. Okay. Well, gentlemen, that was a nice bonus round. So we almost stayed true to our topic a minute. And is this helpful? Continue to be helpful for people? If that's the case, here's what I would like to do. I think that these sessions are fast-paced enough, give enough information to let people know that things are still happening, etc., that I would like the people on this call and those that see it afterward to get out on social media, stand in front of your choruses and say, get to these meetings. There are things happening in Pioneer and beyond, all around Barbershop. Start getting connected and be a part of the movement. So it'll be bonus points to anybody that comes to the next meeting with, I don't know, how about we'll say a third? Anything above a third of your current chorus in attendance, bonus points to you. So I look at Bill. See, he's he's already knows about the emoticons and stuff like this. Can you put a jumping rabbit across the screen or anything, Bill? Okay, work on that. Chris Berry. Oh, I thought you were. Oh,
that's only 3. No, that's only 3 out of the chapter. So that's cool.
Okay, you got to get 3 people. Well, great. Let's get 3 people, and let's make it so that you have to bring more than 3 people to be at a third. That's another plan. Okay. Well, gentlemen, I can say that because we're all gentlemen here. And I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for, if you have other people that you'd like to see on the distribution list, I don't care if it's your whole chorus, let me know. I will update the list and invite everyone, and we will see you next time. If not, we'll see you in a few minutes on the House of Delegates meeting.
I'm glad to say that I have had 1/3 of my chapter here already.
Awesome. Bonus points to Bill.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see some of you in a few minutes.
Okay, we'll see you.